With an update on an AEW star's return to the ring and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching The Wrestling Report. Reviewing the match between Jon Moxley and Ishii from AEW Dynamite, Jim Cornette said on his Experience podcast, they stood up and did freestanding headbutts where you don't grab the other guy's head, you just go back and forth. You can obviously tell they are not trying to, really. They're bonking each other's heads just enough to hurt, but it looks phony-ish, and they did 12 of them. You can tell they're obviously holding back. But that was just for them to get Moxley's blood on Ishii's head, so it could look even more grisly. It still looked fake because they weren't headbutting each other and trying obviously to avoid doing that. I wrote, this is the worst televised match in Major League Wrestling promotion history. With Baron Corbin returning to NXT and having a new look on top of that, Dave Meltzer mentioned this on Wrestling Observer Radio, saying that he's a regular now, and there's going to be more people like that. It remains to be seen who will be making the move to NXT and how their gimmicks or appearances alter. Touching on when Brock Lesnar was initially supposed to come back to WWE, as there were rumors of a Money in the Bank appearance in London for the Beast, Steve Carrier of Ringside News wrote, "We were told that Brock Lesnar was never scheduled for Money in the Bank. It was also stressed to us that anyone who reports that is making up news or getting news from a source that has no credibility or true inside knowledge." Speaking about Bobby Roode's run in WWE, Kurt Angle said this on his podcast. They haven't given him a chance yet. I know he was good in NXT, he was being pushed and utilized properly, not in WWE, unfortunately for Bobby. I don't know if they're ever going to do it. That's what really sucks. Yeah, because Bobby's at the age now. I think he's like, what, his mid-40s? So I don't know if he can wrestle much longer, but I hope they do give him the push he deserves. Defending his decision to bleed in his matches, Jon Moxley told Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, "This is a combat sport. College wrestling is a combat sport too. They have blood timeouts to patch it up. The lowest prelim bout of a UFC card or a boxing card, somebody might have a little blood on their eyebrow or coming out of their nose, but they're not selling a blood sport. It's not tune in for the blood, tune in for the gore. It's part of the aesthetic. It adds realism, sometimes when I don't even want it to, but I only know one speed. That's with my foot to the gas pedal. If we're going to do something, let's do it. That can be detrimental when it comes to negative things like drugs or alcohol, but that's my mindset. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it. When it comes to blood, it's just going to happen sometimes. Like I said, it's foot to the gas pedal. Some people say this is just a random match. Why is there blood? I heard that last week versus Tomohiro Ishii. He's one of the greatest of all time. I'm not going to let that moment slip by. I'm going foot to the gas pedal. How can I not? Then I hear that I can't have a good match without blood. Okay, then you made my argument for me. I'll do it every time. The point of the dissertation is that this is a combat sport, but we're not allowed to have blood in a match unless it's a personal grudge. We're only allowed to have blood after a 5-month grudge, after someone slept with somebody's wife or somebody ran over someone with a car, and then, and only then, are we allowed to have this dramatic crimson mask that looks the exact same every single time? For me, realism-wise, since this is a combat sport, that means there is the potential for blood in every match. Everything in wrestling is preposterous to some degree, but this helps with the suspension of disbelief. I'm actually for less blood, but more often. If every single match on the card had a busted eyebrow or bloody nose, it would just be part of the sport, but some gory spectacle with blood shooting like a hose is pretty unnecessary. We're elbowing each other in the face every single match. We're kicking each other in the face every single match. What are these people mad of if they're not bleeding? People ask why there is blood in the ring every time I leave it. It feels unnatural to go out of my way to make sure no one is bleeding. That feels like I'm taking my foot off the gas pedal. That doesn't interest me. During her latest vlog, Thunder Rosa had a meeting with AEW Dr. Michael Sampson, who said this about her current condition. It's been a long process. Looking at the most recent MRIs and all the conservative stuff we've done in the past, you're progressing well right now. You still have all the pathology in your lower back, L4 and L5, with our progression going into pushing it to the limit, but taking it sequentially, going week to week to week, we push a little more. If we hit a roadblock, we back it up a step. Over the next 4 to 6 weeks, we see how it's going. So far, you've been progressing very well, pain-free. If we continue to do that, we know where we stand, get you stronger, get you ring ready. As long as you don't have that pain, we're good. We still have to protect your back. The pathology has not gone away. It's just a matter of we're treating it so it helps you improve, yet also protects you from worse things. I would say 6 weeks is a good goal point to go to. 6 weeks and see how we go with that. Speaking about his future plans following his retirement from pro wrestling, Malakai Black told Bobby Fish on the Undisputed podcast, "The concept of the gym started when we started building our new house. I told my wife, Zelina Vega, I want a place where I can train and teach people. I want to create a concept where I can implement all the different things that I feel have made me who I am and have brought me to the levels that I've been to and still am. I want to show that to other people, but I want to do it in a way that is not like, pay me $50 and I'll teach you how to do springboards. There is a system and I want people to go through the system. We will do classes and courses." Saying what it would take to possibly join AEW, Carlito told the Attitude Era podcast, "I don't know, man. It's not up to me. Everybody, my resume is out there. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't go kissing up to anybody, and if you want to call me, call me. Great. I'm open to whatever. But nobody calls me. But if Tony Khan puts up with a nice 6-figure check and some apples, yeah, I'd love to. But, like I said, nobody calls me." It appears that a movie starring John Cena is facing international bans. As Ringside News wrote, John Cena has a nice part in the new Barbie movie, adding to a long list of notable roles for the former 16-time world champion. Now, it appears that the blockbuster Barbie movie might not be seen all over the world. The new Barbie movie stars Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as Barbie and Ken. The upcoming film also features an impressive ensemble cast, including Will Ferrell, Simu Liu, America Ferrera, Ariana Greenblatt, Ncuti Gatwa, Emma Mackey, Alexander Shipp, Michael Cera, Issa Rae, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Rhea Perlman, and Kate McKinnon. Scheduled for release on July 21st, 2023, the Barbie movie has an interesting twist with John Cena taking on the role of a mermaid. That should give fans a lot of memes to play with when everything is said and done. There are some hurdles in the movie's international screenings. According to Deadline, Vietnam has banned the film from commercial screenings due to a scene that raises geographic disputes contested by Vietnam. Meanwhile, the Philippines is currently considering whether to grant a permit for the movie to be shown in the country. We will have to see what they decide to do. John Cena plays a character who is obsessed with a mermaid Barbie character. This sounds like quite an interesting movie, but some fans won't get to legally watch it in their country. Hopefully, that doesn't hurt the new film's presence in the global box office too much. With Ronda Rousey reportedly having a hard out on her time with WWE, as she is rumored to be done with a promotion around SummerSlam, the Wrestling Observer newsletter added this about her feud with Shayna Baszler. The tag team title match at Money in the Bank was really a backdrop for Baszler's turn on Rousey. It was clearly a heel-style turn, but the decision was made, clearly from television, to have Baszler be the babyface, with the idea she had to pay her dues, work in front of 30 people, set up rings, and such, while Rousey walked in and her first match was at WrestleMania. It's playing on the idea that Rousey didn't deserve to be pushed in WWE, even though nobody ever did more to help women's wrestling and fighting than Rousey in the big picture. The Rousey and Baszler tag team was always put together for the storyline is a breakup and a feud. That dated back to when Rousey made the call of when she was leaving. It's not known the date, whether it's right after SummerSlam or they'll take the program longer, but Rousey gave the office a finishing date of this run and asked to be put in a tag team with Baszler and to feud with her. Baszler helped Rousey great greatly and really taught her a lot about pro wrestling when the two lived together and would watch wrestling together and attend shows together like at PWG. So Rousey wanted to pay her back by giving her a program that she otherwise wasn't going to get. Between Rousey's injury and other changes with the office being slow to get it started, they had no time to really establish them as tag champs or do the traditional slow build that was the original idea. The idea was to give them a lengthy reign and then do the split, but that didn't work out. Defending the drop in ratings on AEW Collision, Eric Bischoff said on his Strictly Business podcast, "I wouldn't worry about it too much if I was Tony. It's the 4th of July weekend. There's just not a lot of people sitting around watching television over the 4th of July weekend. At least not as many as there normally are. That's one factor. When I say I wouldn't be concerned, I would be aware. I wouldn't be panicking. It wouldn't keep me up at night, but I would definitely be aware because 452,000 viewers, that's 45% of a drop from their initial episode only 3 weeks ago." A user on Twitter reported that a comeback to WWE is taking place, writing, "Per Fightful Select, former WWE superstar Mandy Rose is in negotiations to return very soon. Stay tuned for more." Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful replied, "Fake post. Report is misinformation. Thanks." Giving an update on how he's feeling after suffering a broken neck in March of last year, Big E told After the Bell, "I feel great. Unfortunately, I don't have a timetable. The great thing is, I feel 100%. I don't even feel like someone who broke their neck. My mobility is incredible and great. My strength is great. I have no issues whatsoever. I wish I had some answers on returning to the ring. I have nothing, unfortunately, but the beautiful thing is I feel great. My body feels great, and I'm really thankful for that. Life is good. I'm blessed. I can walk around and touch my toes, go to the gym, all those things. Really grateful. I want to say thank you to the EMTs who were there. Very timely. I thought it was a contusion. I didn't think my neck was broken at all. Thankfully, people got to me before I could do that. So thankful for the people in Birmingham. Dr. Dugas, who took great care of me. Everyone who was just there for me, people texting me, emailed me, all the people who checked in. Fans, peers, families, loved ones. Oftentimes, we look at the internet and Twitter, we think of wrestling Twitter, the community. Sometimes it can be a dark place and be less than ideal. For me, I just saw a very beautiful community that reached out, wanted to support me, that was there for me, not just the day of or the day after, but weeks and months after. I am so proud to be a part of this community and part of this industry because of that. I'm really grateful for all those things. Thanks to everyone. I love you guys. I appreciate the love and support. I am doing beautifully. Mind, body, soul, all those things are incredible. Fortunate and blessed to be alive. Tip your waiters, pay your taxes." When it comes to an update on Jade Cargill, who has been absent from AEW programming, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that there is also no timeline on a return of Jade Cargill. Cargill dropped the TBS title to Chris Statlander at Double or Nothing and hasn't been back since nor talked about much. When asked on Twitter if she would be coming back soon, the answer was no. She posted some photos later of her being in Hollywood and wrote, "Outside of the wrestling bubble is nice, I might stay." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.